thought I'd do a quick video on tomatoes. These are several of the cherry tomatoes I picked. The purple in there, which is over half the bag possibly, all came off of one plant. The yellow pears are very prolific. There's different sizes and varieties. Now, this is the Beefmaster. This is one of the worst ones. I'm making tomato juice, so I went ahead and picked some from some plants that died, and they dried out. But the Beefmaster has very large, very nice tomatoes. I've showed you those in regular garden videos. So would definitely plant them more of those. Now here's the Whopper. Oh, this is one sliced. Some of these might be in bad shape. They're for seed saving. This is a Whopper sliced. Now this doesn't mean this will be exactly what yours look like due to different water and stuff on the plants. Most of my Whoppers are smaller ones. They're supposed to be large, but then there is this very large tomato. So next year I'll replant them and we'll see how they do again next year. But the Beefmaster definitely outdid them this year. This is the Ox Hearts. This is one sliced in half. Usually they're not this juicy, but they did do quite well. Some are smaller this year, but some nice size ones in all. Do got fungus on my plants. They're not doing too well. So all the plants, tomatoes, you can't really tell how they'll look otherwise. This is the Mortgage Lifter. Most of these tomatoes came off of one single plant. So this is quite definitely a contender for planting in the future. Now mind you, they've been in an area that they've not gotten sufficient water from irrigation. I need to repair the irrigation. So they have cracked due to all the rain we're having. But I believe with sufficient watering, correct watering, those might be a definite keeper. This, of course, there's a bad spot on the side. This is for seed. This is what the tomato look like. These are the Costolute Genovese. Very difficult to try to pronounce. I'm probably still pronouncing it wrong. Thomas Jefferson's favorite tomato. That is what it looks like on the inside. Quite a nice juicy tomato there. Did not produce well this year. The plants are now over 7 foot and are close to 7 foot and are producing quite well. I have picked several in the past, so I don't have very many today. Didn't produce a great deal, still will be planting it. Beefsteak. This is the old contender. This is what it looks like sliced open. Pretty good tomato. Somewhat smaller this year than normal. Porterhouse. This is the best of my tomatoes. Will not be growing these in the future. I may try a few plants again until next year just to see if it's a fluke deal. But not happy with that kind at all. And this is the old Rutgers. Most people don't like these because they want a large tomato. I don't understand. They seem to think these are small tomatoes. And they do, of course, have smaller ones, and they're not perfect on top some of the times. Weather, everything else. But many of them are beautiful little tomatoes. Now normally I don't believe they're this solid inside, but they do look quite juicy as usual. This is a very good juicing tomato. So I have been waiting on these tomatoes to ripen just to make some juice, as well as cherry tomatoes are going in with it. So that is the best producing tomatoes this year that I've planted. As I said, these are the smallest, worst looking Beefmasters that I could find. I planted these for somebody else. They requested them. Paid for them in advance, basically. So I left the good ones on the vine. You can see those in the past video and future videos. The good ones still on the plants. Matter of fact, they're back in the back garden on the left as I walk in towards my shed. You can't miss them on most videos. And I'll try to point that out next time with the next video I do. But other than that, the Whopper, I'll definitely be trying again for the next 2 or 3 years. I do have the seed already purchased. Beefmaster, definitely contender from the garden from now on. Rutgers always, and I will be planting even more Rutgers in the future just because they're a great tomato. Oxheart, I may be planting more of those in the garden in the future. They seem to do quite well. This is the second or third year. Mortgage Lifter, again, as I said, this, due to one plant growing faster than the others, almost every one of these tomatoes came off of one plant. And since I was waiting on the Rutgers to get ready, a few of them had to be thrown away because they was rotten, overripe, bad spots. I'll be cutting out and saving what I can for juice. Beefsteak, I will always plant those. That's in the old heirloom. Not a huge fan of them and everything. But again, porterhouse, I'll try it one more time and then it's gone if it doesn't do nothing. So for anybody that's has been or will be buying tomatoes in the future from me, this will almost give you an idea of what you'll get or should get off of the plants and everything. This is the Whopper with the Rutgers, so yes, and it is laying there, so it is much, much bigger. And the Beefmasters, many of them are this size or larger. So, and they are a much prettier, rounder tomato. As I stated, I didn't bring any nice looking ones in. This was quite possibly the best looking one, and it had a spot on it, so I cut it in half. They usually don't have the cracking most of the time. So there is a quick guide to some tomatoes that you might or might not want to plant in your garden. I do have pineapple tomatoes out there, yellow tomatoes. Not that good for canning. I will add a few yellow pears into my juice. Low acid on a small amount won't be too bad. But the pineapples do have large tomatoes close to the size of the Whopper. Pretty good tasting ones. We'll be planting those again as well for eating. In the future, next year, I will hopefully have a few new ones as well. I've got 3 or 4 more I am trying that should produce before the end of the year, and 3 or 4 new ones for next year. I already have the seed, but it came in too late. So here's your tomato guide to a few tomatoes.